This is Harry Reasoner in Hong Kong. Hong Kong is probably the world's most attractive anachronism, and government and business here are betting billions of dollars that it's an anachronism the Chinese communists will allow to survive. This sign on the top of the Bank of China in Hong Kong says, "Long live Chairman Mao." This sign says something very different, and it is more typical of Hong Kong. As long as Hong Kong is British, as long as Hong Kong is an outpost of sophistication and free enterprise, or corruption and oppression, depending on your politics, at the edge of the People's Republic. If China reclaimed Hong Kong, all the signs would say, "Long live Chairman Mao," or "Work to serve the people," or "Unite for greater victories." And everybody would put their tops on and lapse into the prim uniformity that characterizes China's cities. It would be traumatic for most of Hong Kong citizens, and a lot of them would require a great deal of re-education in the rural areas of the mainland. The question is, do the Chinese mean to take Hong Kong back? The communists say flatly that Hong Kong is Chinese territory, but do they intend to do something about it in the near future, or are they merely acting to keep busybodies in the United Nations from taking an interest? There may be somebody over there in the Bank of China who knows the answer, or thinks he knows. It is certainly discussed by visiting businessmen in the Hong Kong Hilton, and it probably comes up between chukkers or wickets or innings or whatever they're called when the British play cricket on the grounds down there. The government of Hong Kong acts as if it were going to be here forever, and is talking about raising $1.5 billion to build a subway system. And they're opening a tunnel between Hong Kong Island and Kowloon on the mainland this summer. The town is booming, with a growth rate far above the United States. If China does propose to take Hong Kong, it probably can, in spite of the handsome units of the British Army, who still polish the patina of 131 years of colonial rule. There are about 10,000 troops here, an RAF detachment, and minesweepers of the Royal Navy keeping order in the harbor, and occasionally picking up one of the swimmers to freedom who still risk everything to leave the mainland paradise of workers and peasants and soldiers. China could take Hong Kong without starting a war, but it would certainly damage the communist new posture of sweet reasonableness. It might, at least temporarily, dry up the market for the boats which bring in mainland goods for sale or transshipment. And Hong Kong now furnishes nearly half of the People's Republic for an exchange. And as noted, it would be very hard on Hong Kong's people. Some of them are terribly poor and live in squalor, a deeper poverty and a more hopeless squalor than you can easily find inside the People's Republic. It is, in fact, their shining delight in the contrast between Hong Kong and the motherland that might drive Chairman Mao's people to squash this bumptious outpost, even if it is a convenience for them. Well, time, as the old Chinese, British, and American saying goes, time will tell. But taking the 2-cent ride on the Star Ferry, you do get the feeling that it would be too bad if all those signs said, "Long live Chinese-Albanian friendship." This is Harry Reasoner, ABC News, Hong Kong.